I have discussed in a previous video that you see out of everything that men can do to alleviate their sufferings and all, sadhana is the topmost thing. In fact, there is one more view to look at it. Generally, people come and people ask in consultation that what is my pending karma, why I am born as human and all. If you go by Hinduism, what is the purpose of birth? The purpose of birth is spiritual emancipation, liberation, is what is told. This can be done through sadhana only. Out of all of the things that one can do, sadhana is the most important, most life changing, most miraculous thing that one can do. But for sadhana, one thing is very, very important, that is Ishta Devata. So, how do we find Ishta Devata? How do we tell the Ishta Devata to the individual and all? Is what I am going to discuss in today's video, this video. But with respect to Ishta Devata, you see, there are a few things that I will want to discuss before we delve into horoscopes and techniques, certainly. You see, Parashar at one place will tell you sun indicates Rama, moon indicates Krishna, Mars indicates Narasimha, Mercury indicates Buddha, Jupiter indicates Vaman, Venus indicates Parshuram, Saturn indicates Kurm, Rahu indicates Varaha, Ketu indicates Matsya. This is there. Otherwise, it is told that sun is Gauri, right? Mars is Hanuman, Bhairav, and all. So, is there contradiction in astrology? See, one thing that I have learned, one thing that my guru have taught me, that in the Shastras, whenever you see that there is contradiction, you should understand that you are not understanding it properly, because in the Shastras there are no contradiction at all. Right? So in Shastras there are no contradiction. It is lack of knowledge which makes us feel that this is contradiction. Also, one more thing is there. When nowadays astrological practice is done, you go to an astrologer, the astrologer will, like, you will ask Ishta Devata or the deity to worship. The astrologer will tell you that, okay, this is the Ishta Devata that you should worship. But there are few things into it, right? A planet indicate multiple deities. For example, if you go by sun, then you can worship sun god himself. Narayan is also indicated by sun. Vishnu is also indicated by sun. As we discussed, Rama is also indicated by sun. So there is one point. If someone is a Vaishnava, sun indicates one particular deity. If one is a Shakt, one indicates a particular sun indicates a particular deity. If one is Shaiv, sun indicates a particular deity. If one is a Ganapatya, sun indicates a particular deity. So as per sect, sun indicates the deity, and this particular approach that you recommend a random deity to random person, or a deity as per the horoscope to the person, is not the way to be done. If a Vaishnav comes to you asking what deity I should worship, and you see Jupiter indicates the deity, so will you tell them that you should worship Shiva? So, see, spirituality, this opinion is there that gods are no different. It is the one super soul which have manifested himself in form of multiple deities. This thing is there. But how true it is to tell a Vaishnava to worship Shiva? Certainly it cannot be done. But nowadays, I believe, because astrologers have lack of knowledge, lack of sympathy, lack of understanding, and lack of how things needs to be done properly, astrologers often do such mistakes, but such mistakes should not be done. Right? This point is extremely clear. Right? So finding the Ishta Devata goes very much deeper into it. First of all, one should understand what type of sect one should go into. The great Adi Sankaracharya particularly told that for devout Hindus, 5 deities: Ganesh for Ganapatya Sampradaya, Sun for Saur Sampradaya, right? Devi for Shaktism, Shiva for Saivism, Vishnu for Vaishnavism, have to be worshipped, right? So first of all, we have to see the person falls in which category. And this is not that easy that, based on the horoscopic combination, you will find out. It's not that way. There are multiple things into it. So certainly astrological combinations are there for all those who do not fall in other category. Astrological combinations are there. But you see, if someone is Vaishnav by family, then he is also supposed to be Vaishnav, right? Parents of a devout Vaishnav, parents, children of devout Vaishnav parents, can you recommend them to, should you recommend them to follow any other deity, right? By parampara, by tradition, they are Vaishnavas, right? So only Vaishnav worship they should do. If one is not of a particular sect because of their family, heredity, etc., then as per the nature behavior of the person, deity should be chosen. This nature behavior is found astrologically also. This nature behavior is found from observation, etc., as well, right? So guru is also supposed to do this particular thing. So first of all, this thing have to be understood, that Devi Devata of which sect should be taken, right? This is very important task, because you just cannot change the sect or religion or faith of the person just like this, right? So this is another ignored thing, right? Here there are a lot of criteria, and I have only mentioned a few, right? Because this happens generally in videos, right? Everything cannot be told in one video, right? If everything I want to say in one video, for example, say if you tell me Ishta Devata knowledge in full, I will tell you that there have to be a 5-day webinar of each class of 3 hours. Only then everything can be covered, but in that everything, basics of astrology, how to see horoscope, how to consider everything also cannot be covered. Right. So you see, if you ask me, in the Gurukul tradition, you are supposed to enroll in Gurukul by 5 years of age and will become graduate by 22 years of age, right? So how many time it will take from 5 years of age to 22 years of age? It needs daily study of 8 hours for perfect mastery of the subject, right? So don't expect that mastery to be given in one video, right? It cannot be done. It's not the way the sages have made it to be done, right? So that this point should be very, very clear, right? So in videos, it often happens that, some point you cannot say, some point is left out deliberately, some points is left out because we have to stick to the topic and, talk related to that topic only. This thing is very common with respect to videos, and I believe all the discerning viewers should understand it, will understand it. Certainly only those with low intellect cannot understand. That's another point. Coming to my topic, right? So this is one thing is there. First of all, what sect one belongs to, and eventually as one goes up into the ladder of spirituality, it becomes very, very clear that all the gods are the one, and eventually it is Brahman only. Eventually it is a realization of Brahman only. So when you take spiritual people, when you take saints, at the end of the day, it is all Brahman whom they are worshipping. The Brahman is the ultimate truth. Right. So 80% of the time when you see spiritual person, they cannot be categorized in a particular way that which deity they used to worship. It's not like that. For example, take Ramakrishna itself. Ramakrishna is known to be a Kali worshipper because he was a priest in Dakshineshwar. But when he prayed to goddess to show her real form, goddess manifested herself in the form of a beam of light, flood of light, right? So Brahman. Ramakrishna also used to have idol of baby Rama, which he used to worship. He also did sadhana for many deities, right? So saying that Ramakrishna is a Kali worshipper is true to a great extent, but not entirely true, right? Because at the end of the day, it is all Brahman. And in the process, one goes through multiple things, and it is true with all of the examples, even those that I am taking in today's video also, right? Now coming to Ishta Devata, as we have just discussed, a planet will indicate a lot of Ishta Devatas. I believe Abhilasha have written a post over it, which is available on her YouTube channel's community. I must have also made videos, etc. over it. In many courses, it is covered, so students already know. In the course of the video, also, deities related to the planets, etc., you will come to know as we take the examples. But deities related to grahas, planets are many, right? In fact, in the Middle Ages, in Gemini system, there was development. People have worked on this, where they have particularly based on Gemini combinations of into the horoscope. They have particularly told which particular form of deity one should worship, right? It went to such in detail that if so and so combination is there, Venkateshwar should be worshipped. If so and Venkateshwar form of Vishnu should be worshipped. If so and so combination is there, Padmanabh form of Vishnu should be worshipped, and so on and so forth. It is also done in Prashna, etc. as well, which I am currently teaching in my Prashna course. The principle related to Gemini that is there, that I do teach in my Gemini course as well. Right. So this thing have developed in Middle Ages also, right? Between 15th to 18th century, such thing was very much into use, right? Astrologers have worked over it. The sages of yore have worked over it. That is there, right? So this point is there. Now coming to how to find the Ishta Devata, see, two concepts are there. If you go by traditional astrology, it is the planet influencing the fifth house who talks about the Ishta Devata. In the case of many planets influencing, generally the case is that you give preference to the planet placed in fifth house. If not, then to the aspecting planet. If not, then to the house lord. Then multiple concepts are also there. Fifth lord in male Rashi, you should worship a male deity. Fifth lord in female Rashi, you should worship a female deity. Which is, as we discussed, that because this is a spiritual matter, one have to have a synchronization and balance between spiritual advice and astrological advice. So this point of worshipping male deity or female deity, though is true, but true in few cases only. In few cases, it's not true also, right? Because that depends on parampara and sect, as we discussed earlier, right? Because female goddess you can only worship when you go into the sect of a particular deity, right? Like if you go into the sect of Surya or Ganpati, then generally goddesses are not worshipped that prominently as it is done in the sect of Vishnu or Shiva or Devi. But in the sect of Vishnu also, if you say you will worship Lakshmi, then it is more or less Devi worship only, right? It is Sakta Sampradaya only. So that depends on a lot of factors. But yes, this point is also there, that worshipping Lakshmi in the Sakta Sampradaya and in the Sakta Sampradaya also from Dakshinachar and Vamachar and Urdhvachar and Dhomukhachar is altogether different as compared to worshipping Lakshmi as a part of the Vaishnavism tradition. So the form of the deity, how the deity is to be worshipped, which mantra, etc., to be chosen, changes as per the sect or as per the approach that one is taking. Something that one should be very, very careful about. Regarding the different methods to worship a deity, what difference is there if you worship Lakshmi through Saktism, or what difference is there if you worship Lakshmi through goddess Lakshmi through Vaishnavism, right? What type of difference will be there if you worship goddess through Lakshmi through Rajasic method, Sattvic method, Tamasic method, Dakshinachar, Vamachar, Urdhvachar, Adhumukhachar, Purvamnaya, Paschimamnaya, Uttaramnaya, all of that. These are extensive things, right? Sadhana is also sadhana, worship, and all of these things are also very, very extensive, and many major secrets related to this I will certainly be teaching in my forthcoming course, Secret of Devi Worship Part 2 also. So those who are interested in sadhana should highly recommended to join that course as well. Right. So this thing is also there, right? The worship of the same deity can be done using different methods also. So this is one opinion. Another opinion is take all the planets influencing the fifth house and take the most powerful planet and worship the deity indicated by that most powerful planet, right? So that's one opinion, it's classical opinion. Secondarily, classical opinion is related to Jaimini, right? That is related to Ishta Devata. Regarding Jaimini, as you know, I propagate, teach, and use the Atmakaraka and other Charkarakas based on minutes, right? So the highest minute planet is Atmakarak, and the planet situated in 12th to that planet in Navamsh indicates the Ishta Devata, right? Sometimes the planet placed in 12th is not taken from Navamsh, but is taken from Rashi chart also under some special conditions, which I teach in the course, right? So these are the two opinions, two classical opinions, basically, which is there related to finding the Ishta Devata. Apart from that, in my experience, from my understanding, and as you know, and if you don't know, then please know that I am known for teaching my own researches, my own observations, generally those researches which I do from scratch, all from my own self, right? So my researches that I generally teach in courses is, first of all, I don't teach in courses what others have taught, right? So if someone have taught something, written it in some book or something like that, I don't teach it, right? Because you can learn it from the person directly, read it from the book. Why I should teach it, right? I don't waste my time on such things. I only teach those things which are either classical directly from the sages with my own interpretation, or things which are developed all by myself right from the scratch. No influence, nothing. All my technique which I have made right from the beginning, starting ground zero. Right. So based on that, I have two opinions also. Because sadhana is supposed to be of the deity which resonates with your mind. Planets influencing the moon in Rashi Navamsh also decides the Ishta Devata. Planets influencing the ascendant in Rashi Navamsh also decides the Ishta Devata. And here, when I am saying planets influencing the ascendant in Rashi Navamsh, by Navamsh I am saying take the Rashi which is the ascendant Rashi in the Navamsh and check that Rashi in D1 chart, Rashi chart. Another thing is that the deity represented by the most powerful planet in the horoscope is also the deity which one should worship. Now you have three techniques. Planet influencing the 5th house, 12th from Atmakara, planet influencing moon, Lagna, most powerful planet. Now, based on the 5 combinations, which should be used? This is another very important topic. You see, very often in astrology, and this is another specialty of mine while teaching, I believe, because I don't think anyone else teaches it, something that I don't know of, and believe me, I know a lot of things. Trust me, please, on that. You see, for example, like you'd say timing event, many dashas are there, but which dasha to use? Based on transit, many techniques are there, but which technique to use? Does this which technique to use based on experience? That out of 400 dashas, I know 20 dashas, so one of the 20 dasha I will teach. If I say that out of 400 dasha, I know 20 only, that's my limitation of understanding. That's my foolishness, right? What the sages or anyone have to do in this, right? So this is not the point that I know of this thing only and I will use this thing only. Lack of knowledge is your problem, right? But you see this, those who are in the Prashna course, those know about it. And in many other courses also we have discussed. For example, you say in Prashna to time events, there are 7 techniques primarily that I know of. 7 techniques in total, in fact. But which technique to use in which horoscope or which technique to use in which type of Prashna is exclusive. So it is Prashna dependent and the horoscope dependent. For example, regarding dashas, if you have been following my videos, you know that there are multiple type of dashas, some for longevity only, some for prediction only, some based on nakshatras, some based on houses, some based on Rashi. And then the application of dasha depends on the question, depends on the combinations in the horoscope and all. So based on that, it have to be decided. So regarding this Ishta Devata combinations also, based on the horoscope, based on the horoscopic condition, based on the setup and situation that is there in the horoscope, the Ishta Devata is decided. And based on that only, Ishta Devata should be found out. Right? This point should be made extremely clear in your mind. Okay. Now let's come to our first horoscope. Ramakrishna's horoscope. If you see, you should check the Atmakarak. So you go by minutes, and remember I use Chandrahari, Anamsha, topocentric planetary positions, Rik Siddhant, all of that. That will only lead you to the correct calculation. Planet with maximum minutes is Moon in 59 minutes. And you know why this research of mine works? Because Atmakarak, because Atma means self, right? Atmakarak is also supposed to give nature to the nature of the person, should indicate nature of the person. Now using minute method, Moon is Atmakarak. If you know about Ramakrishna, if you have read about Ramakrishna, you know that he is moon-like, right? So that's why. However, now if you see that Moon is Atmakarak and Moon in Shaktism, Moon indicates Kali. And because Moon is Atmakarak, worship of the goddess represented by Atmakarak works for him. But this was not the principle that I particularly told you, right? But this is a special case. In some special cases, when there are appropriate combinations in the horoscope, then in that particular scenario, the deity represented by Atmakarak should be taken and the deity represented by Atmakarak should be worshipped. One such thing will be combination for self-realization. If there is combination for self-realization in horoscope, then in that particular scenario, because it is self-realization, which should be translated as Atma That self will be translated as At. In that scenario, Atmakarak related deity should be worshipped, which is happening in the case of Ramakrishna. But as you see that in the horoscope of Ramakrishna, Jupiter is there in the 5th house, and Jupiter indicates Brahman. So as I just told you in the video that Ramakrishna get vision of goddess in the form of Brahman. He used to worship Kali as Brahman only, goddess Kali as Brahman only. Now let's go to another horoscope of another saint, few years younger than Ramakrishna, Bamakhepa. In the horoscope of Bamakhepa, as you see, I discussed that the planet who is influencing the ascendant indicates the Ishta Devata in few cases. And which planet will be influencing the ascendant? So certainly the planet who is situated in the ascendant will influence the ascendant, aspecting the ascendant will influence the ascendant, but the planet who is in Kendra Kona also always influences the ascendant. In fact, from any house planets which are in Kendra Kona, 1, 4, 17, 5, 9 houses always keeps on influencing the house. When to take such influence is also like such influence you cannot take always, and this is what I believe is a speciality of our teaching, that which principle is to be used when, at what point of time, etc. This is what we teach, right? Because this is what is Guru Gyan, right? The knowledge of astrology one can get from any place, right? Multiple sources are there. But what the Guru teaches you, for example, regarding mantra, sadhana, etc., that can be learned from books also. But what Guru teaches you is what is suitable for you, how it should be done, secret knowledge, what is not written, between the lines, right? Things based on experience. This is what the Guru teaches you, right? So astrology, the multiple sources are there to learn, but the Guru Gyan is when to use which technique, when not to use which technique, what is limitation of a technique. A technique can be used when, under which condition, which technique to prefer, to which level it can be expanded, to which level the application of the technique can be extended, etc. This is all Guru Gyan, right? However, in the case of Bamakhepa, because planet influencing the ascendant decides the Ishta Devata, there is no planet particularly in the ascendant. Planet influencing the Kendra Kona also influence. So in Kendra Kona, if you see Rahu, Ketu and Saturn is there. Out of Rahu, Ketu and Saturn, the dispositor of Ketu, that is Mercury, is the most powerful one. That's why the deity indicated by Ketu, goddess Tara, was his Ishta Devi. Now, why Ketu indicates goddess Tara, etc.? This is all based on the list of the deities which I have shared in my Bada course and which I am going to share in my Prashna course when we cover Bada also. Right? These are the deities that I have seen. For example, in my experience, or even if you have also done sadhana of goddess Baglamukhi, etc., then you will see that while doing the sadhana, the result of Saturn will be very much activated in your horoscope, in your life around you. Even all the horoscope of Bagla Sadak, Ma Bagla Sadak, all of those horoscopes will generally have Saturn very powerful. So I teach, I have found out that Saturn indicates goddess Baglamukhi. This point is extremely clear. This is what I teach regarding which goddess, which Mahavidya is indicated by which planet, multiple lists, etc. is there. Right? This list is generally copy paste based on some tantras and all, right? Which is not authentic as such. Tantra gives two type of list related to which Devi rules, which Mahavidya, 3 lists in fact. Which list is true? There is no way to know that. So I have made list based on my own experience. And based on that experience, Ketu indicates Ma Tara, Moon indicates Ma Kali, and Saturn indicates Ma Baglamukhi. From Ma Baglamukhi, let's see the next horoscope, which is the horoscope of Swamiji of Datya. Datya is a place in Madhya Pradesh where there is a great Baglamukhi temple, and Rashtraguru Swamiji have established the temple. And because he have established the temple, certainly he is a Bagla Devi Upashak. And in his horoscope, you can well see that Saturn is there in the ascendant. Becomes the planet who influences the ascendant. In fact, Saturn is the planet who influences Moon also. Right? So Saturn is the same planet which is influencing the ascendant and Moon both. So from 2 techniques, Saturn indicates the Ishta Devata, and as per my understanding, Saturn indicates goddess Bagalamukhi. As per my experiences of sadhana and my observation related to others' experiences of learned known people, Saturn indicates Ma Bagalamukhi. His sadhana he have done, and more so he have made a temple for goddess Bagalamukhi also. Why? Because the Saturn is in exchange with Mars in 4th house. What does 4th house indicate? Home, etc. So he have made home for the goddess. He have made temple for the goddess. In fact, it is told that goddess came in his dream. And goddess told that at so and so place, make my temple. And for that temple, you will have to light lamp, etc. So go to this place where there is my temple. And that place is a cremation ground near river. And take light, lamp, fire from that place. And light the lamp there. And take light from that place and then establish it in the temple and make my temple there, which Swamiji did. So Ma Bagalamukhi himself told him to make the temple. This is clearly visible with the exchange that is happening in 1st house and 4th house. We have talked a lot about Shaktism, but I also highlighted a point that how the same planet indicate different deities in different cases. So keeping that in mind, let's take the horoscope of Srila Prabhupada. You know Srila Prabhupada, founder of ISKCON. In his horoscope, if you see, in his horoscope, which combination is applicable, that combination is applicable, which tells us that the most powerful planet influencing the 5th house should be taken. 5th house, you see, 5th house, there are 2 planets, Mars and Moon, out of which Moon is more powerful because of being in Taurus Rashi, right? Which is an exaltation Rashi of Moon. Degree-wise, he is in Mulatrikon, not in exaltation, but he is powerful than Mars, who is Vargottam, but not in Mulatrikon as such, right? Mulatrikon is more powerful than Vargottam. All of my students know that. And as I told you, list related to Parashar in the beginning of this video, that Saturn indicates Krishna. So ISKCON, right? International Society for Krishna Consciousness is what he have established. He was a great Krishna devotee. Here, the principle of planet influencing the ascendant is not applicable, so Saturn should be left out. Right here, the principle related to Atmakarak, etc., is not applicable, which I have applied in other horoscopes. So that also should be left out. So there are 5 principles that I told you earlier. There is one principle that I told you in between. So such 6, 7 principles are there which decide the Ishta Devata. And based on the nature, behavior, tendency of the person and the combinations present in the horoscope, one appropriate technique should be chosen. That appropriate technique should be applied. And after applying the technique, the planet should be found out. And then based on the tendency and combinations of the horoscope, you should see that which deity of the planet should be chosen. And that deity is the Ishta Devata, whose worship is liberating, result giving, life changing, transforming, karma changing, emancipating for the individual, as it have happened with these people. I believe my point is extremely clear. Thank you for watching the video with patience.